Look, I know exactly what you're doing right now. You're sitting there gingerly searching for your next townhome in White Rock. You're scouring the internet. You're on realtor.ca, typing in the different areas and your price point, and just doing the same old stuff that every single buyer just like you is doing.
Oh, this one looks nice. We should go take a look.
You show up, you take a look, and it is the same old boring listings that you have seen again and again and again. But what if there was the idea out there of the absolute perfect townhouse in White Rock? What if this majestical unicorn-like townhome existed? It was absolutely perfect for everything that you have ever wanted in your next home. We're not just talking about some run-of-the-mill townhome, one that everybody else has. There's nothing impressive about them. There's nothing exciting about them. But you're probably thinking, well, what should even be considered if I'm looking for that perfect townhome in White Rock? And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking they're all the same. You're thinking they're all run of the mill. There is nothing special. There is nothing unique about the type of products that are out there. You have a budget. You have to stay within your budget. You can't just be spending money willy-nilly, money that you don't have. This video today is designed to prove you wrong. Give me the next 10 minutes of your time, and not only am I going to share with you the top considerations of how to find the perfect townhome in White Rock, we're even going to go visit some example complexes in the neighborhood to give you an idea and further cement some of the ideas in this video. But I'm also going to let you know how to get an absolute steal of a deal on your next purchase of a townhome in White Rock. Since I know that sounds good, sit down, tune in, and enjoy today's video. Let's get started. Hey, it's Darren here. If you're thinking of moving to Surrey, White Rock, or any of the surrounding suburbs, subscribe below so you can be the first to learn about the market and the areas. And like so many others we've helped in the process of buying or selling a home, if you need help in the process, whether it's today or 6 months from now, use the link in the description to book a time to speak with me. We'll help you make sure that your move is the absolute best that it could ever be. The first thing you're always going to want to consider when you're buying real estate is the famous saying, location, location, location. That is exactly why we are out front of the Hazelmere townhome complexes to talk about the various locations in White Rock. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this area, it can be incredibly hilly. Hazelmere is located on one of the more flat areas, but for anybody that's got mobility challenges or maybe in a wheelchair, you definitely want to consider where in White Rock that you ultimately end up. But being in a central location means that oftentimes you're getting an older complex just like this one. In fact, this complex was built in 1997 and the average unit ends up being just shy of about 1,400 square feet. But it kind of makes sense that the older ones end up in the more prime areas because this location, as an example, on Merkland Street is just about a block and a half walking to all of the Johnson Hill or Johnson Road shopping. You're very close to any of the new grocery stores like the Thrifty Foods, Save on Foods, Semiahmoo Town Center, and everything that is easily accessible in the downtown White Rock area. Whether it's the walkability of a place like this to commercial amenities, or whether you're looking to be more near parks, more near major access roads, or even near Semiahmoo Bay, location is the #1 consideration that you're going to want to make. But let's run on to another one because I want to give you something really good to think about next. Next on our list is the views that are possible in White Rock. And that doesn't always need to mean ocean view like this property here at 1321 First Street, but you can get views of absolutely anything, whether it is your backyard, a park, or even Semiahmoo Bay in White Rock. Now, obviously with a view property, it's going to be a much more expensive property because, well, views, they go for a premium. There's all different sorts of views in White Rock too. You've got peekaboo views. Those are usually the types of views where you have to lean over a balcony or step on your tippy toes to look out a window to see the ocean view. You can have a partially obstructed ocean view, or you can have a full ocean view. And working with a local area expert is a really important piece in White Rock as well, because there is significant price differences between having a fully unobstructed view and a partial view. Even being on the north or south side of a street can make a huge difference in terms of the actual value. Properties just like this one, small complexes centrally located in White Rock, are all over this this area. And typically with the rooftop patios, well, they're going to be a little bit newer, meaning you get the updated type finishings, but most importantly, the 360-degree view from these rooftop patios, including the 270-degree view of Semiahmoo Bay, which is absolutely incredible, especially in the summertime or those sunsets that you will come to love to enjoy.
Just a quick interruption to let you know that we're on a mission to empower home buyers and sellers to achieve unparalleled success in real estate. This video that you're enjoying right now is a labor of love, free from ads by choice, to help you nail your next move to our community and learn all about the crazy world of real estate from a real person who cares. Now, this takes hours and hours each week to get right, and it's just for you. So here's my humble request. A simple like from you on this video. That's all I'm asking. No need to hit subscribe. Just a click, taking mere seconds, could make a monumental difference to me, but more crucially, it could transform the journey for someone else who needs to hear this video's message. So thanks in advance for that like, and I hope you find the rest of this video to be just as valuable.
The next thing on our list that I want you to consider is the age of the townhome you choose. And there's no better place to do that than for 1450 Vidal Street, the Devon Townhome Complex. Now, these are built in 2012, and you, at the time of filming this video, can get a roughly 1,700 square foot townhome for the cool price of 1.2 million. But that's not the point of this video. The point is to really consider the age of what you're gonna get. So it kind of makes sense that the older townhomes in White Rock, well, they tend to have ended up in the more premier areas. There wasn't as much of a fight for space back in the 70s and 80s when some of these were being built. Whereas you get newer complexes like this one at the Devon that is on Vidal Street. Now, this area, well, it's not quite as conveniently located as some of the other complexes that you could find in White Rock. And you also tend to get these into a more transitioning neighborhood. So what do I mean by that? Well, just looking down the street, you've got a detached duplex right beside this townhome complex, and there's a big zoning sign in front of it. It's going to change at some point to either newer townhomes or condos, but this whole street is transitioning. In fact, just behind the camera is a home completely boarded up that one day will be sold and likely turn into more townhomes or condominiums. So it's a transitioning neighborhood, not necessarily something that you get with older townhomes and more established neighborhoods. Now, the last thing I want you to consider about the age, well, there's typically a trade-off. The older the townhome, the bigger the space you're typically going to get. However, the functionality of that space, it might not be quite as good as a newer one. So if you want more space, you're going to want to consider older, but the newer ones, and well, if you like shiny too, you could consider going one of those, albeit they might not be in the most convenient neighborhood in all of White Rock. Let's jump in the car. I got one more thing for you to consider before we bring this all home and wrap it up. All right, for the last one on my list, I'm going to tell you a little secret and you can't get mad at me. I'm actually in South Surrey. White Rock is just on the other side of this complex. This is literally right across the street from 16th Avenue, the border for White Rock and South Surrey. But why am I here? I want to use this complex, Carlton Court, to give you one of the most important things that you also need to consider when finding that perfect townhome in White Rock, and that is the layout. Now, I don't want you to think I'm just talking about surface level stuff as well. There's so much more to consider for that. I'm not talking about like bedrooms, how big they are, or even maybe the floor plan. I'm not talking about how many bathrooms there are. I'm talking about some really fundamental things that you're going to want to consider that are going to affect your day-to-day life. So as an example, Carlton Court, you can see that there's no driveway here. That's because the parking is actually underneath the ground. That might not be ideal for someone like you. You might want a garage, but do you have a single tandem garage? Do you have a garage that's wide enough to park two cars side by side? There's a bunch of stuff to think about. What about things like the stairs? How good are you with stairs, and how long will you be good with stairs? Do you want something that is 3 levels plus another level down to the basement to access your car? Do you want something that's 1 level, 2 levels with minimal stairs? You need to consider these things. And the last thing that I'm going to ask you to consider, I want you to think about the yard. Some townhomes offer wonderful yards. Unfortunately, some don't. Some might open up into common areas where you're going to see your neighbors and get to know them very well. Some offer private backyards. Some don't offer yards at all. There's townhomes that have the yards right off off the kitchen level. So you can basically turn that yard into an additional living space in the summertime. But there's also townhomes that have yards that are only accessed as you exit through the garage. This means they get no sunlight and nobody ever goes back there. They're just gigantic mud pits. This just goes to show that there's so much more to consider on top of the floor plan. So let's go back to the office now. Let's put this all together in a tidy little bow and let you know how you can find the perfect place in White Rock, and as well, you can get it for an absolute steal of a deal.
So now you've got the top 4 considerations that you want to take into account when you're looking for the absolute perfect townhome, the best that you could ever find in the area of White Rock. You've got one more problem though that you're going to need to address, and that problem is actually getting out, looking at the homes, but better yet, doing it with an area expert. You're investing a lot of time researching online, looking up everything you can find about various neighborhoods. That's even why you're likely on our YouTube channel, and you're probably making great use of our Living in White Rock playlist, which is fully designed to help people just like you learn as much about the communities that we serve, which is White Rock being one of them, as absolute possible. But there's so much more value in speaking to a local area expert like the German group, so you can get everything that you are looking for in the perfect home. Don't be one of those people that's doing their own research. I know that doing your own research thing might be a little bit of a trigger point based on what just happened over the last couple of years, but stick with me. Real estate professionals are there to guide you. They are there to advise you, and they are there to protect you. A local area expert is gonna know all about the stuff that we discussed in this video today to make sure that they're helping you locate the perfect home for you, and if you've got one, your family. In fact, finding the perfect home is the #1 thing that most consumers fully appreciate and love about working with a local real estate expert. So call the German group or call your local realtor. But look, I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine what that perfect townhome looks like to you. It's in the absolute perfect neighborhood where the kids can maybe walk to school easily, or the local coffee shop is just a short walk away. You don't have to hop into the car to go grab groceries, but the street that you live in is maybe quiet enough that you don't have to worry about leaving your window open at night. It's not loud outside. You just absolutely love the balcony or the patio because it's overlooking whatever's important to you, whether it's the park or views of Semiahmoo Bay or even a bustling commercial area for anybody that just wants to experience a little more life in their day-to-day living. This perfect townhouse has a conducive layout that gives you absolutely everything that you could want, including how it is actually laid out, the finishings, and the size of the bedrooms and rooms. We're talking about the perfect townhouse that just makes you grin and smile from ear to ear. That is what the perfect townhouse in White Rock looks like. And this is really what you need to do next to find that perfect townhouse for you. #1, if you're new to the process and you have never purchased a home in British Columbia before, you are going to want to check out our Home Buyers Mastery course, where you have over 3 hours of video training, PDF downloads, and questionnaires to make sure you get everything you need to know in advance before you buy your first home. This course is usually offered for $347 for a lifetime subscription, but for a limited time, we're giving it to viewers of our YouTube channel for absolutely free. #2, contact a local area expert. Whether it's the German group or someone else that is local to the city of White Rock, you want to make sure that you have the absolute perfect person helping you guide and negotiate your way through White Rock real estate. That's really your cue to pick up the phone and call us or send us an email. But let's get to #3. At the very start of this video, we talked about how to get a steal of a deal on your next real estate purchase. And if you're interested in learning all about negotiation and how to be as effective at negotiating the best real estate price you can absolutely do, you definitely want to check out this video next, right here, all about negotiating the best deal possible. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for your comments, and we'll definitely look forward to seeing you on the next video. Cheers.
Just a quick interruption to let you know that we're on a mission to empower home buyers and sellers to achieve unparalleled success in real estate. This video that you're enjoying right now is a labor of love, free from ads by choice, to help you nail your next move to our community and learn all about the crazy world of real estate from a real person who cares. Now, this takes hours and hours each week to get right, and it's just for you. So here's my humble request: a simple like from you on this video. That's all I'm asking. No need to hit subscribe. Just a click, taking mere seconds, could make a monumental difference to me, but more crucially, it could transform the journey for someone else who needs to hear this video's message. So thanks in advance for that like, and I hope you find the rest of this video to be just as valuable.